Hey everyone, and welcome to a new video. In this video, I'll be explaining to you guys 5 reasons why you should get an OBD2 meter by Akira Automotive for your car. So without further ado, let me get started with explaining stuff.
Number 1, let's begin with the basics. So basically the OBD2 meter, it displays a lot of information compared to the information provided by your car. For instance, the Myvi that I'm using right now, it doesn't display as much information compared to the OBD2 meter. So as you can see right now, we have the engine water temperature, the oil temperature, GPS, and voltage. As a matter of fact, it can display a lot more stuff. So let's see, we have air fuel ratio, TCP, which is turbo pressure, PSI, which is also turbo pressure, kilometers per liter, CVT, which is dial box temperature, ELD, which is the engine load, IAT, which is intake air temperature, TPS, which is the throttle, minute, which is the travel time basically, distance, which is distance traveled, VLT or voltage, similar to the one at the top, which is default, GPS, followed by ASL, which is altitude, then the direction, which is the direction we're traveling, ECT, which is engine water temperature, the RPM, fuel consumption, MAP, which is intake pressure, OIT, oil temperature.
So if you are using a car like the Myvi G3 or any other car which doesn't display that many info regarding the internal systems of your car, you can get the OBD2 meter, and by installing it, it will display a lot more information about your car compared to what the car will provide with you. Now, this leads to a question that you might be wondering: will the OBD2 meter work for older models of car which may not have the OBD2 meter? Well, that leads to my second reason why you should get an OBD2 meter for your car.
So if you can recall from the unboxing and installation video of the OBD2 meter which I did previously, there was a USB cable found in the box of the OBD2 meter. So basically what this cable is, it's to connect the OBD2 meter to your car if your car does not have the specific OBD2 port, which you can see in the video I made. So basically, you are still able to use the OBD2 meter with this USB cable, but by doing so, you are not able to access all of the functions. So let me demonstrate and show you guys what information you can get by using this cable only, or if your car is unable to use the OBD2 mode. So once you have used the USB cable to connect the OBD2 meter to your car, and when you start your car up, you will be greeted with a menu where you can choose whether you want to use the GPS mode or the OBD mode. So when you are using the USB cable, you will want to use the GPS mode instead of the OBD mode. So you go to the GPS mode and press the middle button to select GPS mode. And as you can see, the display is similar, but you can notice that the RPM meter, it is all the way down to 0, whereas my car is not exactly all the way down to 0 at the RPM meter. Now let's have a look at what information is available to be displayed on the OBD2 meter while it is in the GPS mode. So right off, we can see that there is VLT or voltage, ASL, altitude, distance for distance travel, and GPS. And then we also have VLT, well, that is the default one, and then GPS, also default, ASL, altitude, as you have seen already, and then direction of travel, the minute or time traveled, distance traveled, and VLT. So as you can see, there isn't really that much info in the GPS mode compared to the OBD2 mode. But basically, you are also able to see your speed as well because it relies on GPS. So let me demonstrate how it looks.
Alright, so now let's move on to reason number 3 as to why you should get an OBD2 meter for your car. Now, this part has something to do with the notification system by the car. So basically, if there is something wrong with the engine, for example, the engine light will light up. in most cases, usually that's the case. Or for example, if the water temperature or the oil temperature is too hot, the temperature light will light up in a red color. But what if, for whatever reason while driving, you don't really notice those those warning lights? So with the OBD2 meter, you can actually enable some settings where it will light up a warning light which flashes a few times. So let me demonstrate it right now.
So in order to go to the settings menu, all you have to do is long press the middle button, and then you'll see this menu over here where there is the return, settings, and OBD diagnose. So let's go to the settings menu first. So here you can get many settings for all the different displays and all the concerning the information. So for example, let's head over to RPM alarm. So here, once you reach 6,000 RPM, basically a red light will light up. So in order for me to demonstrate that without having to go all the way up to 6,000 RPM, I will decrease it to, let's say, something about, let's go to 3,000 RPM so I don't have to accelerate too fast. Okay, 3,000 RPM. So let's have a little demonstration as to what we will see if we hit 3,000 RPM with this setting. So that's to confirm it, and now let's go back to the main menu. So as you saw just now, the bottom light over here, the blue light, it flashes red when you hit the certain amount that you set on the alarm. So here is the RPM alarm just now. I will set it back to 6,000 RPM because I do not want to, hear that alarm all the time. But you can also set the alarm for the battery alarm. So here it is defaulted to 10.5 volts. So if your car battery goes to 10.5 or below, the blue light here will flash red. So that's the default amount. You can change it, of course, for example, like 10.6 or 10.4, anything to your choice, but I'll leave it at 10.5. And then we will see speed adjust and speed offset. So those are the other things you can do to change, but usually all of these settings I will leave them to their default settings because so far I have used the OBD2 meter for quite a while and I've never bothered to mess around with the settings. But I do actually want to highlight about the engine size over here. So I think you should adjust it to 1.5 liter because when I checked out the settings for the first time, it was actually at a 1.6 liter. So since my car is 1.5 liter Myvi, I changed it to a 1.5 liter setting over here. So yeah, that is for the engine size. Then of course, the brightness level for the screen, and then the atmosphere is basically the blue atmosphere light. You can turn it off as well, but I'll just leave it on because, it matches the blue lighting over here, which is pretty cool actually. And yeah, this is a lot of other things. Speed unit is basically kilometers per hour or miles per hour, but I'll leave it at kilometers per hour, of course. And yeah, other things, of course, like I mentioned, I don't really bother to adjust, but here's the factory reset button to reset all of your settings that you change. And yeah, that's pretty much it really for the settings menu.
So now let's move on to reason number 4 as to why you should get an OBD2 meter for your car. So this has something to do with the engine light of your car. So when the engine light lights up, you of course you would be concerned and would probably try go to a workshop or the service center to see what's wrong. But for whatever reason, like if your car, if your car is fine and that the engine light lighted up for no reason at all, based on your knowledge, there is actually a way for the OBD2 meter to disable the engine light. So let me demonstrate to you how it looks.
Now, in order to do this, all you have to do is go back to the settings menu once more by long press the middle button and then head over to OBD diagnose. So select that. So basically, if there is the engine light which lights up somewhere over here, I believe, all you have to do is head over to this menu, select scan DTC, and of course it will do scan, but if there is any error it will show up, of course. So then you head back, and then if there were any errors you can select clean DTC, and then yeah, it will show cleaning. And you know, since my car is perfectly fine, it shows no DTC. So that is how you can turn off the engine light by using this scan diagnose thingy menu using the OBD2 meter. So yeah, that is how to do it.
And last but not least, I think reason number 5 is not a solid reason in itself, but I would say that you guys should get an OBD2 meter for your car because the designs are really cool and it shows a lot of information for your car, as I mentioned earlier. And with the variety of displays available, there are many choices for you to choose from, you know, whichever you like the most, and you know, set it as a display. Plus, if you get bored of that one display over time, you can of course just change it to a different design. So yeah, I guess that would sum up the explanation video, or the few reasons why you should most definitely get an OBD2 meter by Akira Automotive for your car.
So if you are interested in getting an OBD2 meter for yourself, I'll be leaving a link in the description below, which will lead you to the Shopee of the OBD2 meter by Akira Automotive.
So I guess that's all for this video. I hope you enjoyed this brief explanation of mine. So leave a like if you like, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys next time.